Hi, everybody. It's Brett Richter. I'm back with another edition of Chasing the Checkers, USSA Pro Star Series segments where we get to talk with some of the most interesting personalities in the ice oval racing world. Today, really an honor and a pleasure to talk to this gentleman. He's got a long history of racing, not always in the Pro Champ Series, but has raced a ton. So, Matt Goede, driver of the number 28, welcome to Chasing the Checkers. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Good. Now, first of all, your roots are really in vintage racing, right?
Yeah, my brother started racing vintage sleds in like 2001, and then we just kind of progressed from there. I didn't really start get going in the vintage sleds until maybe like '09 or something around there, really. So I hadn't even been racing snowmobiles that long, but like you said, we've been racing since I was 5 years old, racing quarter midgets, and then right up into a late model up until a couple of years ago. Haven't done that since my accident in Ironwood, actually. So
Okay.
so yeah, a lot of racing my whole life.
That's seems to be a trait in the Goede family. It seems like you guys race all year long, regardless of weather conditions. You're always tuning, tinkering, racing something, right?
Yeah, for sure. You know, my brother is really big into the asphalt late models. He's races in Wisconsin, Minnesota, mainly Minnesota now, but we travel when we can, and so that keeps us busy all summer. And then my little brother races a four-wheeler. He did motocross for a couple of years. Now he just does oval racing in the winter on ice. But yeah, so we're all pretty active in racing something. So
Interesting. You have the distinction, I think, of being the most winningest driver in the Vintage World Championships. Is that correct?
yeah, I think so. Last year was my fourth one at Eagle River, and I think the next closest is two. I think there's a few people who have two. I know my brother's got two. I think Fred Smith maybe has two, and one of the Pettinellis from out east. So yeah, we've had a really good run in the vintage racing, and I look forward to that doing that again this year at Eagle River. Trying to go back to back. We'll just try to get out before the season starts a little bit and do some testing with it. But right now, it's exactly how it came off the track at Eagle River. So I'm a little bit behind working on that sled, but it doesn't need much. So hopefully it's as good as it was last year.
Right. I wouldn't think it would need much.
Yeah.
But stepping into the champ division again this year, you have the ability to be the only person that I know of in history that could possibly win a vintage world championship and a modern day world championship.
Yeah, I think I don't really know of anyone else that's even done the Vintage World Championship and the modern one that I know of, I guess. But that's definitely kind of a goal, I guess. But at the same time, it's definitely going to be hard to do. The vintage thing, I think we got a good shot at that. The champ, I definitely need to improve as a rider. I feel in the longer races and just getting better endurance, riding probably better when the track deteriorates. So there's definitely things that I think I need to improve on, and hopefully I made some gains over the off season. But we're not going to know till we line up and race.
That's right. Yeah, nothing happens till the green flag drops, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So tell us a little bit of difference that you see between a champ sled and a 440 Supermod from the vintage world. What's the big differences in those types of sleds for the regular viewers to know, spectators?
The biggest thing, like compared to a vintage sled to a champ sled, is the vintage sleds have very little suspension movement. They only have leaf springs on the skis. They don't have like a shock, or I guess independent suspension, I should say. They have a shock on the ski, but not just a leaf spring as the spring. So there's very little movement. If you do have movement at all in the leaf spring, the ski will tend to roll under and not turn very well. So you need to have the front skis very rigid. So they're kind of rough, but if the track stays smooth, they're not actually that much different driving. The Supermods are pretty fast, and they're really cool machines. But the champ sleds, like I said, they're smoother. They're about 2 seconds a lap faster. They have a little bit more power, and the engines are much more modern technology. So
Interesting.
they're both very high tech machines though. Even the vintage sleds, most of them are hand built, just like the champ sleds.
Right. Vintage is kind of a interesting term when it comes to racing those sleds in those classes, because there's not a lot on those sleds that's vintage.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of time and effort that gets put into them, and the rules are very open where you can do that. I don't even know all the exact rules, but they're very open. You can pretty much do whatever you want almost, as long as it kind of meets the chassis, how it originally came, as far as like kind of the structure of it, I guess. I don't really know the exact rules.
Right. Yeah. Got to get past all that stuff past ISR and Mr. Octoberg, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit how tracks change over the course of years. You've raced Ironwood a number of years. You've raced at Eagle River a number of years. I know you're up at Alexandria and Wausau and places like that. Everybody thinks the track's the same year to year, but when I talk to drivers like yourself, I understand the tracks always seem to change and morph and become a little bit different over time. How do you see that?
That's nothing that I guess I've noticed much. Every year the bumps are a little bit different or in different spots on the track, I guess. But as far as the layout, Eagle River, I guess Eagle River is one that changes a lot. They move the banks in and out. It seems like as the weekend goes on, they keep moving them out farther and farther. Like when we first get there for vintage weekend, it looks like you're going really fast, or the lap times are way faster, but it's just because they move the track in so much. But as far as any of the other tracks, Ironwood, I think they tried widening a couple years ago. I remember that. But as far as any of the other ones, I guess I don't really even know any changes to them, really, other than, like I said, the bumps always develop differently. Sometimes the, lines change a little bit depending on where the bumps and the snow dust is on the track.
Right.
Other than that, I guess I don't really know.
Okay. Scott sent in a question. I'm actually going to read it from him. It's a little bit longer, but I think it's very interesting. He sent this in, said, during your first few years of racing, who were racers you learned the most from, either by advice, tips and tricks, or following them around the track and learning good driving lines or driving techniques?
I guess, the biggest person I learned from was my brother. I've kind of always followed in his footsteps, but getting into vintage racing, the top guys when we started were Mark Anderson and Fred Smith and Bill Stahl,
Right.
Silver Bullet team. So, we just, I guess, tried to, watch the fastest guys and race the fastest guys and see how we stacked up. And, if we weren't good enough, we went home and tried to work on it and get better. But advice-wise, all of the vintage group is very helpful. They will, everyone kind of helps each other out, and everyone's kind of great to work with.
Good. All right, you ready for some fun stuff?
Sure.
Okay. First of all, there's a certain individual who sent in a question today that I think I'll let him remain nameless. He wants to know who your favorite Canadian racer is.
My favorite Canadian racer.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
I'll say Andrew Dara.
Okay, good.
He's probably the one I know the best, really. Or maybe Glenn Hart, I guess. Them are the only two that I really actually kind of know personally.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's do some other fun stuff. You've got two brothers that race. So if we put the three of you in identically prepared stock cars, who wins?
For sure, my older brother, Jacob.
Okay. We put three of you in identically prepared snowmobiles. Who wins?
I think I'd win, but it kind of depends how long the race is. My older brother can go fast on short laps, but if it's a little bit longer, I think I can probably beat him. Okay. And my little brother doesn't have much snowmobiling experience racing, so he's going to be at a little disadvantage.
Okay, well, the next question's his, maybe, because who's going to win when we put you on identically prepared quads in the ice?
Oh, he would for surely win, because me or Jacob have never even hardly driven four-wheelers. So he would. Alex, our younger brother, would definitely win that event.
Pretty diverse group there. Right. What's the hardest racer you've ever had to pass?
I would say probably like Blaine Stevenson, because he's the fastest. He's the hardest guy to pass because he's pretty much the fastest every week. So last year, I know I had a really good battle at Valcourt with Sabrina. I kind of raced side by side with her almost the whole race and never could pass her. But, it all kind of depends how the weekend is going too. If you got a really good sled, you can make passes and go to the front. But other times it's harder to pass anybody. Everyone's all in the champ class. Everyone's all very even and very fast and competitive. So it's hard to pass in champ for sure.
Yeah, that's really true. Tell me somebody you wish you could line up with just once to race. Present, past, somebody like that. Just somebody from your history or somebody you know or new raced or whatever. Somebody you'd love to race against.
I'll probably say Dale Loritz because I raced for him. So I'll be nice and say Dale.
That would be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Couple more quick ones. If you could borrow somebody's race sled for one full day and use it, whose would it be?
I think Gunnar Stearns.
Okay. Yeah, he's got a heck of a hole shot, doesn't he?
Yeah, for sure. And Mike Cool tuning it. I think he obviously is a really good rider and has a good sled. So I think Gunnar's would be a good sled to try out.
Sure. What's your favorite race day food?
I pretty much eat anything almost. Race day food. I don't know. In the trailer we either have pizza, hot dogs, or some sort of chicken noodle soup. So any of them three.
That's not going to show up on anybody's fitness plan. You know that, right?
We're sponsored by a bar that supplies us food. So those are the three things we get. So
Great.
That's what we eat.
I know where to stop.
Right.
All right. When I talked to a couple of the other drivers, we're doing a section called Tips for Kids. So what I'm doing is I'm asking drivers with experience at running the champ class to give the next generation of racers something that we may think they overlook or don't work hard enough on, or we're not asking for a trade secret, but if you could go back 10 years and say, man, if I knew this, my learning curve would be a whole lot better.
Well, I think that this goes with anything, but the more work you put into it, the better the result's going to be, no matter what you're doing. So I think the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. And, you kind of got to surround yourself with good people. And that comes, you obviously can't pick your parents, but your parents are who are going to get you into racing. And, they got to kind of lead you and guide you as you're younger. But as you get older, the more, like I said before, the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. Even maybe if you're not the most, say, talented rider, but you put more time and effort into it of learning, how to set up your sled or, clutching stuff or whatever, you can make up for it in other areas, even if you say you're not the best rider or whatever. But, there's a lot that can go into it. And I think the more you put into it, the better the result's going to be.
I think you and I both know you can't just show up on race day and ride.
Right, exactly. There's a lot that goes into it, and a lot of that is with the team and the setup of the sled, obviously, and then your fitness off the track. You got to be as fast on lap 10 as you are the first lap if you want to win a champ. So that's one of the biggest things. I feel like last year our short run speed was probably good enough most weekends. It's just from lap 7 to 15 is where I felt I needed to improve the most on, and that probably comes from me not being in good enough shape. But at the same point, I didn't race for like 3 years, so I couldn't be too disappointed with how the results turned out. I felt we'd had an awesome season last year, so I can't complain at all how the season turned out. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting back on the ice this year.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a side topic, but ever since Ironwood, you haven't really gone into a season fully ready, fully prepared, fully healthy, and been able to complete that season. So to put a whole season under your belt this year in good shape and good condition would be really, really good for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's my main goal every weekend, is just to finish as best I can, but also at the same time just finish every lap. Not take any unnecessary chances, and just finish with the sled in one piece every week. I definitely don't want to go through any more accidents. 2 was enough. So safety is kind of my biggest thing I'm kind of concerned with now. So I definitely I always want to take the safe side of things.
Understood. All right. You said you're going to be racing with Dale Ritz again this year. So tell us a little bit about your team for the season, some of your sponsors, and give them some love.
Yeah, the two main guys on the team are Dale and Mike Emerson. Mike Emerson's the one who keeps care of the sled, built the sled last year, does all the maintenance during the week. But as far as sponsors go, got to thank Goede, Nicollet National Bank, Dayco Belts, the Ravine Pub and Bar for the food all weekend long in the trailer. Team Woody's, V43 Reeds, Patrick Custom Carbon for doing all the stick carbon work that he does and the clutch balancing and stuff. So without all their help, we wouldn't be able to do this. So and I got to really thank Mike Emerson. You know, he's the one who takes care of the sled and built the sled last year, and like I said, does all the maintenance, hauls the sled around. So I really got to thank him and Dale for letting me ride for him. So it takes everyone to do it. So without any of their help, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, sounds great. You know, it's been great to spend just a couple minutes with you. I look forward to seeing you at the races this winter. We'll catch up again and chat a little bit more. So you're one of those good guys we really like to talk to, and I certainly enjoyed your time this evening. One final question, and if you watch Blaine's, you already know it's coming. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup or Snickers?
I'll do a Reese's this time.
Nice. Now you're my buddy.
Last time when I said Snickers, you gave me crap, so I just agreed with you.
There really is only one answer, and so far you're the only one that got it right.
Okay.
All right. Great to see you, man. Have a good night.
Yep. Look forward to seeing you at the track.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks. Bye.